So hi guys, now let's talk about love and romance and how we can identify as to why some people have multiple partners, or they prefer to be in a polygamy relationship. And we're going to use the chart of President Jacob Zuma. President Jacob Zuma is a president from South Africa, former president of South Africa, and generally he's known for his intelligence, and he's also known for having 5 wives. So some people may find it a bit weird, but culturally in South Africa this is normal, and this is a traditional norm, like something that is part of the South African culture. So now we're going to see why he has 5 wives, or he had 5 wives, because now he's got 4, and what drove him into that type of a lifestyle, which is a polygamy. Again, this is a very normal lifestyle in South Africa, so for many people in South Africa this is not a taboo. It is probably a taboo subject in the Western world, but generally this is like a normal thing. Okay, so we're going to use Venus, of course, as the main focus of this analysis. Why? Because Venus is responsible for love, for romance. It's a planet that really determines the romance side in our lives. And also Venus stands for women, or represent women in general. Venus represents affection, and so in terms of this topic, we're just gonna leave the definition right there. Okay, so now Venus is definitely responsible for marriage, because originally it is the lord of the 7th house. So Venus here, we can see that it's in Taurus. So basically President Jacob Zuma's Venus is in Taurus, which is a sign that Venus owns. So this is like Venus's most comfortable place to be in. Okay, and this Venus in Taurus is really all about stability. Okay, hence he would choose to marry these women instead of being a bachelor and just dating them. Okay, so it's no surprise that he got married to them, or he chose to marry them, because the Venus is fixed. The Venus wants stability here. The Venus wants security in terms of emotions, in terms of romance, in terms of love. Okay, so that's the first thing that we can see, and that's the first indicator as to why he chose to marry these women. All right, so from here we can see that Venus in Taurus is really all about values, family. It's all about building together as a family, building wealth or material value, building family principles together. Okay, that's what Venus does really in Taurus. So it is no wonder why his life is fixed and secured in marriage, in terms of marrying these women. But now, the actual reason why he had to marry more women, not just one woman, is that if we can see second to Venus, we find Rahu. Okay, Rahu is here, and it's in Gemini. Okay, first of all, looking at the zodiac sign Gemini, we can see that it's a sign that is adaptable. It adapts to anything. It changes its form as it wants, because that's what Gemini is. That's what the Gemini sign does. It's like everywhere but nowhere. Hence there's like the two people symbolizing it. Now Rahu, it gets really interesting. Okay, first let's just define a Rahu in terms of this topic. Rahu is like, the shadow planet that is concerned about having as more as it can, having as much as it can, having as many as it can. So Rahu is like, it's like that uncle who just eats and eats and eats and eats and just wants to eat everything. And that's Rahu for you. Rahu is like, in terms of the Vedic methodology, is like the head without the body. So the head is like opening its mouth and just eating everything, and it does not get full. No, it doesn't. So it doesn't get full because there's no body, there's no stomach, to hold the food. So it just eats and tastes, and and the food goes blap on the ground, and it eats again, and it never gets full. Okay, so now Rahu being second to Venus, with all of that attitude of wanting to have more and more and more and more and more without ever getting satisfied, it says that this Venus of the former president is actually always hungry. Okay, but remember that Venus is a planet that likes to have fun, that likes to socialize, that likes to have the good life, like the live the what's it called? We live once. I forgot the word. I forgot the phrase. But in terms of YOLO, yeah, you only live once. Yeah, that's the phrase I'm looking for. So this Venus is like that with this Rahu energy, because with the Rahu being second to Venus, it indicates that Rahu is feeding. Venus is feeding off a Rahu. Okay, so second to the planet is always what the planet is getting as its food, and the planet is what the planet is getting as its values. So this Venus here is just eating off the greed that Rahu is presenting. This Venus is just wanting more love, more romance, more women, because Venus is women, more fun, more socialization. Okay, because Venus wants to go out there, Venus wants to talk to people, Venus wants to be surrounded by good times. Okay, and with Rahu, it's just so amplified, this need of having fun, of having more, of having too much, of having many, of having a lot, is amplified, because Rahu is that magician that amplifies things, and it just makes them to look bigger, to taste better, to just seem like a great deal. So that's how this Venus is acting here with its Rahu energy. Okay, so now if we look at opposite this Venus, we can see that actually Venus is opposite Lilith. So the thing is, Lilith is like, oh my gosh, Lilith is like that, naughty side in us, the side that is usually suppressed, the side that is a bit dark, a bit naughty, a bit tasteless, a bit I would say wild, but it's suppressed, so it's like always inside us, and it wants to get out, and it wants to do its own dark thing, it wants to do its own naughty thing, and now it's facing a Venus. Okay, so meaning that when Venus is opposite Lilith, there is it's like I would say it's like a butterfly that is like attracted to like fire, and it wants to get closer to the fire, because the fire it looks good, it looks bright, it looks like fun, but at the same time, every time when it gets closer to the fire, then it starts to to get a bit burnt. So Venus opposite Lilith is that energy of this love, this romance, this marriage that the Venus represents in his chart, but at the same time it's attracted to the naughty things, it's attracted to or it's being pulled by the naughty things, by the darker side, or the wild side in us. So basically now Venus being opposite that, it's like it kind of not taints the love that he has, but it makes it naughty. It makes his love naughty. It makes his romance lifestyle naughty. It makes it a bit, wild. And in loose terms, people have said that he's a ladies' man. Okay, so of course he would be a ladies' man, because, well, if we're speaking loosely, because of that Lilith, there's that naughtiness there that is spiking the interest of Venus, is influencing that Venus, on top of Venus eating from the energies of Rahu. Oh my gosh. Okay, so and then if we look at something else, is that this Venus here of the former president, it's actually also opposite the energy of Scorpio. Okay, this Lilith is in Scorpio. Now, when we talk about Scorpio side, we're talking about taboo subjects. Okay, so no wonder why then people would say, oh, he married so many women, this is so taboo, da 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 da. Yeah, for sure it's gonna look taboo because it's in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the energy of taboo subjects. It gives that taboo lifestyle. And Scorpio is also an energy that is sexually very, very intense, where people are in love with a Scorpio energy, they can be a bit intense, they can be a bit passionate. Their passion is intense, their approach is intense or taboo, and this Venus here really indicates that his life, his love life, attracts or may attract women or partners that have this naughty side, that have this mentality of thinking taboo or being women that are not being scared off by taboo subjects, like women who can deal with secrets, women who can deal with what people could define as intense and taboo, stuff like that. So that's very interesting. But now we just need to look at something very interesting, because the thing is, with Rahu, going back to Rahu there, with Rahu we also have to look at the dispositor, okay? And the dispositor of Rahu is Mercury, okay? So because it's in Gemini and Mercury owns or rules the Gemini sign, so if we can see that Mercury is like 12 places away from Venus. What does that mean? 12 places away from Venus. We find now at the bedroom of Venus. This is where the romance, the marriage, the love is played out in the 12th house, in the bedroom, where we sleep. And again, we're finding the dispositor of Rahu, again implying that even like 12 places away from the Venus, like in the bedroom, you are finding again, or you are seeing again, this playful energy, because Mercury represents playfulness. Mercury represents the youth and being youthful. Mercury represents friends and friendly vibes. And the thing is that Mercury also likes to socialize a lot. So anything that is fun, friendly, youthful, that's Mercury's energy, okay? So then it is no surprise why, he wouldn't hold himself back from, enjoying his life, from enjoying his romance, from enjoying his sexuality, basically, because there's that playfulness there, 12 places away from Venus, in the bedroom area, okay? Now, just the last thing now that we need to look at is that Jupiter is actually the president's Darakaraka, okay? When we talk about a Darakaraka, we talk about a planet that holds the lowest degree, okay, in your chart. And this planet usually, Darakaraka, you really represent your spouse, okay? So if we are talking now about Darakaraka being your spouse, and in his case the Darakaraka is Jupiter, then it is no surprise why he has so many wives, because Jupiter represents many, okay, expansion, lots, optimism, like just multiplied, big, huge. That's what Jupiter represents. Okay, so he's a planet that represents his wife or his spouse is Jupiter, which indicates he's going to have multiple wives, many wives, and he's going to want freedom, or the wives or the spouse will give him freedom. Okay, because Jupiter is all about freedom. Jupiter is all about expansion. Jupiter is all about making things be many, be multiplied. All right. So now we can see why that, his bedroom life is expanded. It is because of that Jupiter there. And Jupiter in Aries is actually very fiery. Jupiter in Aries is all about action, okay? Because the Aries side is all about, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it fast. I'm going to do it with a bit of assertiveness, okay? And Jupiter here is really pushed to do things fiery, to do things spicy, This is why the Vedic astrology is really logical, because it explains things that we can prove in terms of the theories and the explanations and the definitions of what these planets represent. All right, now I just wanted to finish off by looking at 10 places away from Venus. 10 places away from Venus, we are finding that there's Saturn with Chiron there, okay, in Aquarius. Now, why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of people have criticized, the president's marriage lifestyle or marriage mentality. They've criticized him, they have judged him, they have, made fun of him and stuff like that, okay? And being 10 places away, certain, it means that it's in the public place in terms of, this Venus. This Venus is like representing, this Saturn is like representing his image and how people accept his image in the public place. So, of course, having Saturn here, it means, Saturn is all gonna be about criticizing, because that's what Saturn does. Saturn criticizes. Saturn limits. Saturn puts boundaries and restraints, okay, and constraints. And the public has been generally critical of his marriage, of his lifestyle. They have wanted to put boundaries about or in terms of how he marries his wives, complaining that a lot of people are paying tax, the public is paying tax for his many wives, Of course, that's expected with Saturn there. And with Chiron also is like a, that wounding planet. So, of course, all the hurtful things that have been said about his marriage, about his romantic lifestyle, about his love approach, it's obvious why. It's because of that Saturn with Chiron there, right? But with the thing is, with this Saturn being 10 places away from Venus, is also not hurting him. It doesn't really affect his choices, his love choices. People can talk, people can put restraints, constraints, but it's comfortable for him. Like, it doesn't disturb him. Why? Because Venus is best friends with Saturn. Okay, so meaning that all the opinions that people have had about his marriage, to him, he's just like, he doesn't care, because it's a comfortable position. He accepts the criticism, he accepts the limitations that people have tried to put, but it doesn't stop him. He still continues to be comfortable in his love language, or in his romance approach. All right, so yeah, now we know why a lot of people choose to have many women. We know that Rahu plays a role. We know that in this case, Jupiter has played a huge role in expanding his spouse, or Darakaraka. So yeah, guys, we'll chat to you soon, okay, when we look at somebody else's chart. For now, thank you so much, and I talk to you.